of course, a special guest from North America. I'm very happy that you made it to the show. Why don't you quickly introduce yourself to the audience? Because there may be some people who still don't know you, which I can't possibly imagine.
Well, thank you guys very much for having me on the show. I'm really excited. I am Gillyweed. I stream Heroes every day on my channel, but I also am most known probably for having Eye on the Storm. I co-host it with Anna Prosser Robinson. It's on the Misclicks Twitch channel, and it's a show where we talk about the Heroes meta. We also bring on a guest every week, usually a pro player, to talk about Heroes and kind of teach us more about the game, and as well as our audience as well, in hopes that Anna and I will eventually be able to become casters.
Yeah, super cool. Actually, guys, you should check that out if you have the chance to. And I would actually love to have like female casters in a competitive esports scene for once, especially in the MOBA scene. I don't think we have that yet, do we?
No. Not that I can think of.
Yeah,
No.
and of course, with us as well is our lovely co-host Hossalot. How's it going, Hoss?
It's good. It's good. It's been a busy week for me. I was at a LAN, so I didn't get much time to play much Heroes this week. But I am here. I've done my hero, and it's going to be an awesome show.
I hope so. And I can tell you one thing, guys. We are going to present to you a really cool mixture of heroes and especially concepts that have not made it into the game so far. Especially two of them are pretty unique, and I'm really pumped to see whether Blizzard is going to implement something similar like that in the near future. Yeah, without further ado, I think we can jump right into the action. And in the last episode, I was actually the last one to present the hero to you. So this time we're going to switch things around. And yeah, I'm just going to start the action, so to speak. And don't forget, guys, at the end of the show, we will present to you the chance of you voting, actually, which concept you liked most or best. So yeah. Oh, I almost forgot about it, right? Because I have to tell you guys which concept
who won last week's.
Yeah, last week we had a tie, actually, between mine and Tetris.
Yeah.
So we had a tie between Rin from the Warcraft universe and Artanis from StarCraft.
Yeah, they were both pretty awesome. I can't really be upset that they beat mine. Artanis especially was so good.
To be honest, Tetris Artanis was also my favorite one. His concept was just so unique. Like, if you guys haven't watched the first episode, you should do that after this one. So
so yeah, I think we can agree that Tetris won last week. So guest is 1-0 up against me and you, Kendrick.
Exactly. I mean, the whole mechanics of warping in pylons and making them become turrets on the battlefield was just too cool. I mean, he totally deserved the victory on this one. Yeah, so this time I'm going to start things off. Once again, we have back the infamous red curtain because you're not supposed to see what the hero is going to be just yet. So, yeah, my hero is going to be about StarCraft 2. And the hero itself will fulfill a role that we don't have yet from the StarCraft 2 universe. So, as you guys know, we have supports, Tassadar and the likes. And, of course, we have a lot of assassins. So, we have Kerrigan, Nova. But, yeah, we're kind of lacking warriors. He took part in the Wings of Liberty campaign.
But yeah, I didn't actually play much of the StarCraft campaign, so I have no clue.
What?
I know.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm one of those horrible people that just jumped straight into the multiplayer. I was like, especially with Heart of the Swarm, I was like, right, I've got it on release. Let's hit that queue. So yeah.
I think most people didn't. Their least favorite of all the campaigns so far has been Heart of the Swarm. I still loved it. But I think I know a lot of people do that, but I love this campaign. The story is my favorite.
The story is amazing, and I can't wait for the end of the trilogy, like
Legacy
the Protoss side of things, because Protoss is my main race, or used to be my main race, because I'm not really playing that much StarCraft 2 anymore, competitively at least. So yeah, Legacy of the Void is going to be great. Okay, but yeah, back to the Terran side of things, because my champion, or my hero, as we like to call him in Heroes of the Storm, is none other than General Warfield. So all of you guys who played the Wings of Liberty campaign, I'm sure you're going to recognize and memorize him. Yeah, there we go. Horace Warfield, a battle-hardened veteran, so to speak. he used to work for the bad guys at the beginning of the campaign, if you recall it. He used to be a part of Mengsk's Imperial forces, so to speak. And what are your thoughts, or what are your memories when it comes to Horace Warfield Gillyweed? Do you have anything that you liked about the character, or didn't you like him? Just tell me a little about him.
Oh, I really liked him.
Yeah.
I thought that he was just, he was what's the word? He's like kind of grizzled and tough, and he was really, really cool. I really liked him in the campaign.
Yeah, and
so
he was
I'm pumped about this hero.
Yeah, sure. and they made a lot of drama about him, right? Because you had that news broadcast in the campaign where they reactivated him, I think they called it, because he wasn't really part of the military. And then there was this new Zerg threat, and then they reactivated this battle-hardened veteran. So I thought he had a really cool entrance in the campaign. So yeah, let's move on to the skills. Pretty much I wanted to create a StarCraft 2 warrior that it kind of wasn't really like the rest of the warrior that we had in the lore, because as you know, we have fantasy type of warriors from the Warcraft universe. We have some mysterious kind of warriors, I would like to call them, like Tyrael from the Diablo universe. So I thought, I had to create something different. And what I did here is we're actually going to start off with the Q here. The Q that Horace Warfield brings to the table is called the Bayonet Strike. And the Bayonet Strike is actually something that is supposed to become a trademark of him. So he's fighting in melee combat, even though he's wielding some sort of gun, like a shotgun or a machine gun, similar to Raynor's and Tychus's gun. But he's using it in melee combat. So he's using the bayonet to hit people in the face. So the only thing I think would be kind of difficult to do is, like, people would say, why isn't he shooting at people? He's got a gun. So maybe you could implement something like a shooting animation that doesn't do anything. And whenever he runs around, for example, he takes a shot, but it doesn't do anything. It's just for the looks, right? So people wouldn't feel weird about it. But he always charges at enemies and likes to hit them with the bayonet. And the Bayonet Strike is pretty much an auto attack that will deal extra damage. And it will also impale the enemy, pretty much make them bleed and take additional damage over time. Like a little, a little dot.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah. And also...
And I guess that'd be an auto-attack reset as well, which we don't actually have too many of in Heroes at the moment.
Yeah, not that many, right?
Yeah. There's one or two, but I can't recall. I know there's one or two in the game.
You have Arthas, for example, with his D.
Yeah. Arthas's mana.
Frostmourne.
Other than that, you're totally right. We don't really have that many auto-attack resets, exactly. And off to the next skill, it's going to be his W, and it's going to be Hold the Line, an infamous line that has to be in every video game, I think. So yeah, pretty much, Warfield is a general, and he's a veteran amongst the troops. So he's going to try to lead his men into battle and trying to protect them to the best he can. So pretty much giving tactical orders, Warfield is able to inspire nearby friendly minions and heroes. So it goes just pretty much like Raynor's W. It goes on minions and heroes alike, and it increases their defense, right? So all damage taken is reduced by a percentage for a short time. So once again, guys, by the way, we don't want to talk about numbers too much here, because that would cause ridiculous amounts of theory crafting.
Too much balancing.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think about that?
Thank you for that, by the way.
What do you guys think about that idea? Do you think it would be too strong to be able to give heroes and minions the ability of not taking as much damage as they would normally?
I think that's pretty fair. I like the idea.
Yeah, I think you can balance just about anything, as long as it's something to do with numbers. Like, they talked about taking out Cast Aside from Tyrael because they couldn't really balance it because there was nothing numbers based with it. So I think as long as there's numbers, they can always figure it out. And I like the idea that it's kind of sort of an anti-Raynor sort of thing,
pretty
but
much
still.
Like, I had the idea in mind to create an anti-Raynor. Pretty much it works the other way around.
Right, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, and let's move on to the E skill here, which is going to be called General's Resolve. And pretty much, I really like this skill, and I was so excited when I had the idea. So it's pretty much like a dash, but a defensive dash. Like, you can't do it on opponents. you have to do it on allied minions or allied heroes, most preferably. And once you hit a friendly target, that target gets a shield, and it'll also decrease the amount of damage it's going to take, because it'll split the damage taken from the target and Warfield. So Warfield is basically going to take 50% of the damage for a short amount of time. Not until the end of the game. That would be pretty sick. Yeah. But yeah, for a short amount of time. And I really wanted to have Warfield being some sort of high HP warrior. So he would have a high HP pool in order to soak up that damage without dying too quickly.
That's kind of like a taunt, but it only blocks 50% of attacks, but it also blocks abilities as well, which is a really nice mechanic there.
Exactly. So really if you get like bursted down by somebody, you take those skill shots. Warfield will just jump at you and basically deny some of the damage, which is something really cool, I think.
Yeah. Awesome.
That's so neat. I love that.
So yeah, and now this is where things get really interesting. We move on to the heroic ability, to the first one actually. It's called Superior Tactics. Once again, you know, it's all about the tactical mastermind that Warfield is going to represent on the battlefield. And General Warfield is a legendary commander. He uses his tactical skills to reveal all enemies and call in reinforcement to strike all affected enemies once, you know, after a short delay. Something we already have in other MOBAs, you know, if you think of Karthus in League of Legends, or, you know, Zeus in Dota. So yeah, but I wanted it to be like StarCraft style, like Hero of the Storm style. So about those reinforcements, it could be like a shot from a battlecruiser, or it could be a drop pod that strikes once and then disappears, or whatever. What do you guys think? What could we do?
You could even have like a medic transport ship dropping a Widow Mine.
Yeah, why? That's totally awesome.
A little bit complex, but it's complex, but it's yeah,
maybe or like Raven dropping a bomb or something.
Yeah, Raven Seeker missile would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
And I really like the idea of having another reveal spell against all the shady, pesky, cloaking
basically
units.
Zeratul. What you're saying is Zeratul.
Exactly. I mean, I had the discussion with Hoss the other day. Pretty much with all the new champions or heroes, you want to have something that is against Zeratul. Yeah. Because he's so strong and so annoying at the moment.
Varian.
Yeah. Okay, so second heroic ability would be the Hero of Taurus. That's a nickname that he gained, or a title that he gained after, you know, doing some weird stuff on the battlefield. And yeah, General Warfield turns himself into a battle frenzy and gains a significant HP bonus. And here we go. This is a little bit like the E skill that we discussed earlier with the, you know, divide damage taken. And if friendly heroes are close to him, Warfield will take 25% of the damage dealt to them. So pretty much if he's in the middle of your friendly team, he's going to soak up a lot of damage that your allies could take from AoE ultimates, for example, like Falstad or Thrall Sundering.
Yeah.
So he gets a massive boost in HP, but can tank a lot more this way.
Nazebo?
Yeah, I was about to say that against Nazebo.
I figured that's what you were thinking.
Yeah, that's super strong.
And I thought, actually, I implemented numbers here, even though we didn't want to do that, because I think 25% is okay.
With the percentage, you kind of need it, but
And it's just a rough number, right? It could be more, it could be less.
Yeah, of course.
We can always balance that in the end. Yeah, and the Ds pretty much evacuate. So it's similar to Tyrael's or Uther's passive, where when they die, something cool happens. Well, or not so cool if you're in the enemy team. So yeah, whenever General Warfield dies, he's able to immobilize one of the targets, or one of the target enemies. And for a short time, he's going to immobilize them. So he's going to keep them in place and say, like, let my man go, or man, get behind, whatever. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool if your team's getting chased by somebody, and General Warfield sacrifices himself, dies, and then, for example, immobilizes an Illidan so he can't chase anymore.
Yeah. I was going to say something else you could do is start off in a fight by shielding, using your E on an ally, and then say somehow you end up in the middle of the fight and you die on their carry.
Yeah.
You could just do it on one of the assassins at the back, and then everyone will follow up. It has so much potential as well, because you essentially can peel after death as well. If you die to the front line, you can use it on a warrior as well at the front. It'll give your Horace that bit of extra.
I don't think it would be too strong because it doesn't deal any damage or something. It's just pretty much a short immobilize, right? And you can use it offensively or defensively. So I think it would make for a lot of cool plays and flashy plays.
Yeah, definitely so. Definitely so.
So yeah, that's pretty much General Warfield. Yeah, some new mechanics, which is like damage absorption, denying damage. Yeah, I would be really happy if we saw something in the game like that. What do you think? Because it would be pretty much a new mechanic, right? New thing that doesn't exist in Heroes of the Storm so far.
Yeah, I think it's really cool.
Go on.
Oh, sorry. I think it really fits with the character. I think that you've done a really good job fitting, you know, with him and how he is on the battlefield.
Cheers, yeah. So, who's gonna be next now? Let's see. I think we're gonna do ladies first this time. Yep. So, Gilly, now is your moment to shine.
And save the best till last. Yeah.
Hey, I know who went last place last time, or in last show.
All right,
so,
I've got to redeem myself, okay?
Okay, fair enough.
It's going to be tough.
So yeah, next one, here we go. Okay, so Gilly, it's now your turn.
Okay, so you want me to try to hint at who I chose?
Just throw some baits out there, some hints.
All right, well, this guy is from the Warcraft universe. He is I didn't play Warcraft very much, so I don't really know too much of his lore, but he's also featured in Hearthstone.
Yep.
He is quite evil. And really likes
I think we're getting closer.
To command evil type minions. Some might say demonic minions even.
Okay, very nice. I think I can lift the curtain right away. You gave a very awesome description.
Thank you.
So here we go. But that's a badass picture, by the way. I found a really cool piece of fan art here.
Did you vote for Gul'dan?
Yeah, exactly. It's Gul'dan. Awesome. So very infamous and very evil character, as you pointed out. And what made you come up with Gul'dan? Why do you like him personally so much?
Well, Gul'dan, I have heard a little bit about him and like his role in Warcraft, and he's awesome. He's just so evil and really cool. And another thing I really like is when I played World of Warcraft, I played the Warlock class, and I really loved all of the Warlock abilities. And I'm going to go into talking about how I tried to sort of combine both the Warlock abilities from WoW as well as some of his Hearthstone cards in order to kind of like make this sort of mesh into the hero's character.
Sweet.
And I think it does capture it. I kind of went even into like the talent trees for the Warlock as well and tried to sort of cover all of the different talent trees because I was always a really big fan of playing the Warlock. So yeah, do you want me to go into the abilities?
Some general ideas, pretty good.
Yeah, so he'll be, you know, either assassin specialist, kind of like Nazebo, and I kind of took some types of things from like Lost Vikings or the summoned heroic abilities like Ultralisk and Water Elemental. So my general thought is I believe that the game is going to move toward having assassins that have high damage but not a great amount of escape to really go toward focusing on positioning, which is something that I would like the game to do because I think it'll bring about a greater level of play.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
A skill level.
So if we had more of those mage type of assassins like Jaina, for example, right?
Yeah. They need to be able to do a ton of damage, but just very easy to catch out, so that you really have to constantly make sure that you are right where you need to be and not being caught out.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to start seeing that with Jaina more, and so that's the type of hero that I was trying to create here with Gul'dan. So he's not going to have a lot of escape. I'm sure that with talents, you could start to kind of put some escape in there, but I didn't build him with any escape really in the initial abilities.
Yeah, so sort of like you don't have a fancy dash or a blink, but you could use like your sense of tactics or your skills sort of in order to protect you, right? If you place them carefully, if you keep like if you keep your teammates sort of in focus and you know where they move and where they are in order to protect you best, right? What do you think about that, Hoss? Do you agree with Gilly? Like, do you think the game should have less flashy assassins that are able to blink and hop around like crazy, or do you like that?
I think there's an abundance of them right now, and adding heroes in that don't have escape is definitely an interesting thing. And as you said, they can build talents like sprint or even ice block.
That's a good point, actually.
Maybe even have like a specialized one in there for Gul'dan.
Yes,
like
exactly.
Demonic sprint or something like that. But yeah, going for the high risk, high reward thing is something that heroes really needs to have. It's a little bit too safe right now.
I agree, and I think that when you see, like in World of Warcraft, in big raids, you do have the highest damage dealers typically being those who don't really have much of escape and are just can be taken down very quickly, like the Warlocks or the Mages. So I'm really hoping that we'll continue to see more of those, and that's why I kind of chose to go for this type. I really always favor positioning because I think it really brings about really cool fights.
Sweet. And you know, it also attracts a different type of player to the game, right? Some people just aren't born to be those crazy jump around assassins who have to press a lot of buttons all the time. Some people just like to focus on other things, like they want to focus on positioning and they want to, you know, take it a little bit slower. And so, yeah, I think that adds a great new facet to the game that we don't really have that well in the game, except for Jaina. I think she's one of the only heroes that is pretty similar to your concept.
The Zebo as well.
And the Zebo kind of, exactly.
Really calculated, and that's the type of hero I like to play, is really focusing on my positioning at all times and making sure that I'm in the right spot. So that's kind of where I chose to went with this. And
now you got us all excited about the skills.
All right, so for skills, I did choose to do a little bit more of a high mana cost because he kind of has an extra buddy with his really good hero trait, and so I'm sure with balancing, like I said before, as long as you have numbers that you can balance.
It's all a concept, so don't worry about balancing too much, guys. Yeah.
Right. So we'll start. You want me to start with a Q?
Exactly. You can start off with the Q with a D, like whatever you think is most important.
Well, I think I would like to start off with the D for him. Okay. It's his hero trait, and it's Summon Demon. So he'll have a demon with him on the battlefield. It will be, you'll use D to summon the demon and then retarget. So it's just going to be like the Ultralisk, the Banshees, the Water Elemental.
Very cool.
Yeah, and it will take mana to cast, and there will be a cooldown on it if it's destroyed.
So you just can't spam another demon once the previous one dies, okay?
Exactly.
So you got to take care of your pets then.
You do, and so that's where I think a little bit the Lost Vikings come in, right? You've got more than just one person you have to control, but the demons like the Ultralisk and stuff, they kind of follow you, and then you can target them and stuff. So they'll be not totally dependent on you always running them. And what I thought was that the level 1 talent choice for Gul'dan could be choosing between 3 different demons. So we have the Flame Imp, the Succubus, and the Voidwalker.
Yeah.
And then the difference initially between these demons is just in health and damage dealt. So like the Flame Imp would have the least amount of health, but he would do more damage, and it would be a ranged attack.
Cool.
And then the Voidwalker would do the least amount of damage, and it would be melee, but he'd have more health. And then the Succubus would be sort of in the middle of both, with a melee attack as well. I don't know if you've ever seen her attack in World of Warcraft, but she actually has a whip.
Yeah.
So, that'd be pretty cool, I guess.
Oh, I couldn't wait to see what the talent's name would be for the Succubus, right? Something like Hit Me Harder or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about talent names. It's my favorite thing about this game is the talent names.
Yeah, so I really love this idea. I don't know about you, Hoss, but I think you could totally adapt your playstyle according to the team comp you're running or according to the team comp that your opponents are running. For example, if they are really bursty, high on DPS, you summon the tanky demon. If you need more DPS in your own team, you would go for the Flame Imp. So I love this.
And that's one of the great things about Heroes. Most of the gameplay is kind of adaptive to how your opponent plays or how their team comes set up. And having that straight off from the trait is it's pretty brilliant. Be awesome for Gul'dan.
Pretty awesome. I love it. So yeah, I think we can move on to the queue then. Shadowbolt.
Okay. One more thing that I wanted to add about the demons is that I kind of built in an idea that you could make it more of a skill challenge or less, depending on how comfortable you felt with the hero, by adding things in, like maybe an extra activatable talent for the demon that you chose.
Okay, gotcha.
And I hadn't really thought about any except that the succubus in WoW has the ability to charm somebody, and I thought it would maybe be cool if you could activate it and charm someone and they would move a couple steps closer to you, kind of like Ari from League. I thought that that'd be really, really neat. And kind of a little displacement.
So it would also make it easier for you to hit that specific target if it comes closer to you, obviously, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sweet.
All right, so moving on then to the queue. So this is Shadowbolt, and it'll be a standard skill shot, just like Nova Sniper, Ice Lance from Jaina. And so what I like from this, it'll do instant damage, and this kind of builds on the Destruction talent tree from WoW, and the Destruction's more like bursty type damage. And then the W is Corruption, and this deals damage over time to a targeted hero. So again, like Nova's pinning shot, so you just be able to click the hero. And this would be, I guess, like in Venom, more of a poison. My favorite talent tree for Warlocks in WoW was the Affliction one, which is all dots, damage over time. So I was like, I have to have one of these in there. And like with that, I've got all of the different talent trees too. I've got the demons, the sort of damage over time with Affliction, and then the Destruction stuff as well with Shadowbolt.
Awesome. And you also bring sort of that Hearthstone feeling into the game, right? Because we have a Shadowbolt card, obviously in Hearthstone as well, and we do have some of the demons as minions. So I think even players who are not that familiar with the Warcraft or World of Warcraft games, but have played Hearthstone, I think can be really into that.
Yeah, for sure. That was the goal. The E is life tap. So one of the core concepts for the Warlock in both Hearthstone and World of Warcraft is trying to balance your mana usage and using your life to give you more mana, but then obviously you have to balance that with the damage that you take and the tax on your healer's resources. So this would definitely take probably a lot of balancing, but I thought that this was a core concept that just had to be in here for Gul'dan, and that's that he can convert some amount of his life for mana.
Yeah. And I think this is a really, really cool idea, Gilly, because in Hero, you want to stay on lane as much as you can, right? You don't want to go back. You don't want to port back to the Nexus or to the core, because you have to soak that XP continuously if you want to do something good for your team. So even if your will is down, you still have the chance to stay on lane to get that XP. So I'm loving that. It makes him really strong, in my opinion.
Yeah, really, really strong laner.
What do you think so far about the concept, Hans?
Yeah, there's a lot of burst in there already. The CC as well to help you peel for yourself in the W. It's only a slow but most high burst. Heroes only have very little form of CC, like Nazeebo is the wall. Jaina is more or less based around the slows, but that's because she doesn't really have too many escapes until level 13. So yeah, and again, the life tap, the sustain in lane, usually it's the mana problem for mages that they have in the lane phase. So getting rid of that health and able to get more mana to help you clearing waves, doing damage, forcing your opponent out it's going to be core on Gul'dan, certainly.
So what would your favorite demon be, Haas? I know it's the succubus, isn't it?
I don't know. I play when I play Hearthstone, I'm a horrible Murloc player, so it's got to be Voidwalker.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. Yeah, or the Flame, either or. Yeah. Yeah,
talking about demons, I think, Gilly, your first heroic ability will satisfy people who are into demons even more.
Yes, it's going to be Summon Felguard, and so when you activate it, it would be timed, and what would happen is it would turn your summoned demon into a Felguard, and I can just imagine some sort of cool animation for that, of course. And then, of course, when the timer ran out, or if it was killed, if the timer ran out, it would just turn back into your other demon. But if it was killed, then you would just summon your regular demon back. So it would be a higher damage dealer, definitely, because it's your heroic. But then also, I found that the Felguard in WoW actually reduces the amount of healing that's received by its target.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Right? Yeah, I didn't either. I never went into demonology, so I never was summoning them as a warlock. So I thought that would be something that'd be really cool, is if it's hitting him, it's kind of reducing the amount of healing a little bit on the target, which I think would be really, really neat. Kind of, opposite your general a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and
do we have that mechanic in Heroes of the Storm already? Like, are there skills or talents that reduce healing?
Not that I can
think of one right off the bat.
No.
So it would also be something totally new, and I think something really strong, because supporters right now are like you have a lot of double support comps, or you have one supporter and a Tassadar. So I think
so I'm going back to like the whole game referencing thing here, but imagine that on an Illidan when you're running against an Illidan Rhaegar comp, just increases the amount of burst potential that you have. It's really, really good.
And it would bring such a shift in the meta as well if you have those new mechanics, right? You can always have that pick in the backhand when your opponents think they have a really strong comp with Illidan and all the stuff that's good at the moment, and then you pull out the Gul'dan and the Felguard, and you're like, it's not going to work this time.
Yeah.
So super cool. Yeah, second heroic ability then.
All right, so my second heroic ability, I wanted to do something for the people who aren't all about their demons. For instance, if they're choosing talents that aren't really for their demons and want to just build up Gul'dan himself. And this is Rain of Fire. So it would be similar to kind of Starfall as far as an area of effect. But enemies that are hit by projectiles don't actually take any really initial damage. It's all about burn damage. Yeah. So you would be... like Starfall, you'd be kind of slowed once you're inside of it, but you would definitely want to get out immediately, because the longer you stand in it, the more the poison bar that you would get. So, when you get envenomed and there's sort of that bar that it's going to be taking down, you would just get more and more of that the longer you stay in it.
Well, that reminds
basically,
me of
you're on fire.
Murky's ultimate, right? Where he gets all those little murlocs, and the longer you stay in it, the more damage you're going to take.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool stuff. And to be fair, I think it would actually make a wonderful combo with Jaina's, like Circle. I'm not talking about the two mages. You could maybe run two mage assassins in a team comp, and you wouldn't need those auto attackers or those flashy blink champions. So I like it.
Yeah, thanks. And like I said, I think that there's definitely potential to add in some escape, like possibly, when you corrupt someone, it slows them, or maybe your life tap gives you a little bit of a speed boost for a second because you're getting adrenaline, I don't know, something like that. There's definitely the potential to kind of tweak it and add a little bit more of an escape if needed, as well as for talents like a Voidwalker, you can maybe talent into him so that he slows the enemies that he's around, and there's definitely some potential to save him, but I want him to do a lot of damage, and that means that he's got to be a little more vulnerable. Nice.
So yeah, one last statement before you move on to your big concept, Hoss. How do you like Gilly's Gul'dan? I'm in love with it. I would totally play him.
It's a really great idea. Again, the adaptability that you bring with the demons is awesome. Yeah. And there's so much potential there just in the QWE. And then you bring in two ults, and I'm really in favor of that second one right now, especially with the AoE kind of thing. So imagine it with a Valerina Vengeance going down. Yeah. Or, as you said, just combining it with the Starfall, have Tyrande as more of like an off-support third damage dealer kind of thing. Just those two going down, it'd be a massive slow and so much damage. It'd be so good. So much potential there.
Would you be playing a champion like Gul'dan yourself?
I don't really play assassins. I've never touched Thrall yet, so probably not, but I'd happily have one on my team.
That's good. That's good.
Sweet.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, you're welcome, and you did a great job. So, yeah, now is the moment of truth for our co-host Hoss, because last time he landed on the last place, so to speak. Yeah. And Thatcher took all the glory with his Artanis, which was really cool. So, I'm not really sure if that's going to be the case this time, though, because I think Hoss's hero concept is going to be really, really cool. So we're going to move on to the next scene.
So I kind of go down the route I'm not a big lore person, so most of my heroes that you'll see in the coming weeks will more than likely be based around mechanics and the actual in-game function they have, I guess.
Yep.
And the gap they fill. So there's been a lot of people on Reddit recently saying we need a Diablo support, we need a Diablo support. So I've just gone and made a Diablo support. We all know that the main kind of support character in Diablo is the monk. And he works off spirit. So this is what I've gone for here. So instead of mana, you have spirit. And yeah, should I get onto skills and traits and so on and so forth?
Yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit more about the new resource that you came up with? Because I think there aren't really too many heroes other than Chen. Who else? Illidan doesn't have a resource at all.
Yeah, Sonya.
Sonya.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think we could totally need more heroes that have something unique about them. And your resource doesn't work like the others one, does it?
No. So with Spirit, you start off with 0, and then it's just gained by auto-attacking heroes. And because you're melee, you're going to be auto-attacking quite a bit, but dependent on how you play, whether you're just saving your backline or going to be at the front there, peeling, so on and so forth.
Awesome. So I think people in the chat and people on YouTube won't really, they can't wait to find out what your monk is going to be, right? Going to be about. So yeah, let's move on here. Why don't you tell us a little something about the general playstyle? What's the monk going to be like? Is he going to be a hero similar to Uther, who's another melee support, or just go ahead?
So the closest comparison I can go for here would be Sona from League. So you'd have your abilities, then you'd have a persistent effect, but unlike Sona, the monk actually has no heals at all. He's more or less based around the actual utility of a support and kind of peeling, but more or less just aiding his team rather than just the carries. So the trait is that using an ability creates a persistent effect, which will buff the monk and his allies until another ability is used. So you use your Q, the effect obviously will have its active, and then that effect will stay around until you use another skill.
So pretty much you have those mantras from Diablo 3, right?
Yes.
You use a skill, you get a certain mantra, and then it's going to give a boon to your allies and make them stronger, make them faster, whatever. Yeah, that sounds pretty awesome. And as you said, it's similar to Sona. And me personally, Sona from League of Legends was one of my favorite supports. It was...
I loved her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she just got a new skin today. Looks so good. But enough League. Yeah, so the Q ability is Sweeping Wind, so it's the more offensive one here. So the monk sweeps his weapon in front in an arc, which can deal damage to multiple foes. It's a one damage skill, but obviously AoE. It's again not really based around the active. The active's there just to aid the rest of his team in dealing a little bit of damage. It's more the effect afterwards. So once you've used your Q and the ability's gone away, you have this lasting effect, which is increasing allied attack damage by 15%.
Okay. So yeah, once again, guys, the numbers, by the way, don't let them bother you. It's just for reference, right?
Yeah,
you have some sort of
adds to it by a percentage. So I think 10, 15, 20 might be a little bit too much, but around the 5 to 15 mark would be pretty good.
Sweet.
So obviously he'd have a area around him.
So what would Sweeping Wind look like? Like, would he do a fancy martial arts move, or
it'd be like
a roundhouse kick, or exactly.
Also a spear or a katana, something kind of like that, I guess.
That's something we would have to talk about as well. What would he be using, a weapon, or would he use hand-to-hand combat?
It'd be more. No, it would be more like a staff I had in mind. I can't think of the word for it, but a staff just going straight across kind of thing.
Like a quarter staff or whatever.
Yeah.
I think this might be wrong, but wasn't the name of the staff type things that they used called like a daibo?
A daibo, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a two-handed staff type of thing. Exactly.
Yeah. There we go. Gilly doing more research than me on my...
I played the monk when I was trying to do hardcore and not die. So I got a lot of...
How did it go? How did it go?
So I started out as the demon hunter and died the second day into it, because I was streaming about an hour a day. So then I restarted my hero, and then I did the monk, and it went much, much better.
Nice.
Far better. Yeah, because I mean, you can just, like, by the end, you can just negate damage and all sorts of crazy stuff.
Yeah, so the Q, again, it's the offensive one. It adds damage to your team. Just increases, in theory, both the sustained and burst damage. So you can activate your Q, and then straight away everyone can just burst down the opponent. Or you can use it to enter a fight and just have that damage from the start, the chase potential with the added damage in.
Nice.
So now W, kind of like Nova's here, it's lethal decoy. So the monk creates a decoy of himself, which will taunt the closest enemy hero, forcing that hero to attack the decoy for a few seconds.
Nice. So once again, we have like a sort of new mechanic in there, right? You have a real taunt on decoy, which we don't have so far, because as you know, Nova's decoys are just there to annoy people and to confuse them.
The art of deception, but of course, go on.
How would it force them to attack just like they couldn't attack you? They would have to attack
himself? Yeah, so imagine kind of like Rammus from League. It would just force them to attack the decoy. So it'd have maybe like a little bit of a health bar that the enemy could take down. It wouldn't be very big. Maybe 4 hits, 4 or 5 auto attacks, something like that. Not big at all. It's not really a stun as much that they can't really do anything. It's a taunt which the allies can help. The opposing allies can help with, and
so enemies could also like nuke the decoy, right, to negate the damage or the effect rather.
Yeah.
So would your hero just not be able to attack anything else then? It would have to attack it?
If you compare it to Rammus, I think it would be the case.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I was just like, I was trying to think about how taunt would work with somebody who can control their character.
Effect then, right? It's like
a
sort of stun, but not quite a stun.
So one of the things with Rammus in League was that you could move while you were taunting, so you could drag them back into your team. But with this, it's more or less just keeping them in one place. And it's from range as well, so it wouldn't be too long. It'd be quite a small range, but yeah.
I like it.
That's awesome, yeah.
And the persisting effect for the W would be that you increase your allied move speed. So in the late game of Heroes, more so, certainly Sky Temple, the late game that it does have, Garden of Terror, certainly Dragonshire as well. Rotations are really key, and being able to rotate that little bit quicker than your opponent will give you the edge in the late game. Your early game, it won't have too much of an effect because I don't really see you ganking and roaming with the monk. But certainly as you hit that 15-20 minute mark, you're more than likely going to be turning to that lasting effect on the W for most of the time roaming around as a group of 5.
And I think the mantra or the passive effect works quite well with the taunt mechanics on the decoy, because you keep one enemy in place and then you give the rest of your team the ability to catch up, right? To close in and sort of engage on that target that is rooted in place. So I like that. Cool synergy.
Yeah, so now adding a little bit more of a support element in here. Blinding Flash creates a flash of light, which blinds enemies near the monk, causing them to miss their next auto attack. So again, it'd be more or less within melee range of the monk, so it'd have to be either at the front or deep in the team. And simple as that. Kind of like Lily's Blinding Wind.
Yeah, just in melee range.
Yeah,
right?
Everyone in melee range rather than a ranged attack that only hits a few.
Nice.
And the persistent effect for that one, this is where he gives his allies a little bit more help in hand here. Gives them a shield for X amount of their max HP. And that shield will refresh after being out of combat for 10 seconds. So it's an initial shield, but it won't shield you again until you're out of combat. So you kind of see that one being used within the middle of the fight, just to give your allies that bit of extra defense. But it won't be too much.
And it also prevents crazy stuff like you shielding your allies over and over again, like by pressing the E button. Yeah. So for the shield to come back up from cooldown, you would have to be out of combat for a while.
Exactly.
Sweet.
I'm seeing the combos there for sure.
Exactly. Like you use your W, root one enemy in place, or make him attack your clone, and then the rest of your team closes in. You give them a shield now that they came close, and oh my god, the goodness.
Yeah. Or even like once your whole team moves in faster, you can do Sweeping Wind, give them some attack damage, and then once everyone needs a shield in the middle of the fight, do that. That's really neat.
And now the good old heroics. The first one is Wave of Light.
I was so excited. Sorry to interrupt you there. I was so
excited.
Bell! Yeah, the bell. Ring the bell. I was so excited to find that icon. And when I read your concept through, I was like super pumped that you included that skill. Because it's to me, it's so like iconic. The most iconic skill among cats.
It would be rude not to include it.
Yeah.
So I've got summon a bell down, dealing burst damage in the area that it's summoned. Activate again when near the bell to knock back enemies in a line in front of the monk. So you'd bring it down.
Yep.
So I feel like I have to use my hands here to demonstrate. So bring it down here. The monk is like here, and then it would knock the bell and cause a knockback in that direction. So it'd be in front of it towards the bell.
Sweet. Yeah.
Cool.
So again, this is adding in CC. It's not really a healing support. It's more of the utility side of things. Probably chuck a healing ward in there at level 4.
Yeah.
Maybe even a specialized one for the monk, but yeah, just to add something in there. More so of the utility. And the second one is a really interesting one, I personally think. Inner Sanctuary creates an area around the monk in which ranged attacks and skill shots cannot penetrate.
Oh, yeah.
So imagine kind of like a Zeratul prism, but a bigger radius, where you can happily brawl inside of it. But if there's, say, a Valor on the outside and she Rain of Vengeances to try and get inside it, yeah, that's going to get stopped.
Sweet.
So any attack that tries to penetrate the walls of the sanctuary, obviously,
Hinterland
won't go
Blast.
through.
Boom.
Yeah. Yep, Hinterland Blast. Get out of here, you. Mighty Gust. Nope, not today. Even the Zeratul Void Prism. If Zeratul tries to VP from outside of it, tries to VP in, yeah, no, wasted a cooldown there, mate. Good luck.
Sweet. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Isn't there something like that in League? Doesn't somebody have something kind of like that?
Kind of like Jarvan, yeah.
And
so
you also have the wall of Yasuo, right?
Yeah, kind of like Yasuo's Wind Wall as well. So that stops any ranged auto attacks.
Right, that's what I was thinking of.
So it's like that, but
so
with
one question
range.
here, Horace, because we do have Gilly's Gul'dan. So what if he decided to cast Rain of Fire on that bubble? What would happen? Because it's an AoE ranged attack. It would also get denied, right?
Yeah, it'd get denied, but the area of effect outside of the Inner Sanctuary would still be affected. So in theory, as you leave the Inner Sanctuary, you could still get hit by the rain.
Sweet.
I could also just throw my Felguard in there, see what happens.
Yeah,
exactly.
Summon him up in there. Yeah. So
that's really cool.
And it's not like it would be an almighty skill, because there could be mechanics to work around that. For example, just imagine a Malfurion walking in there and then silencing everybody.
Yeah, like Malfurion walking in, silencing, or even Malfurion just walking in and using Tranquility, just healing up all his allies in that space. It really segregates an area of the battlefield in which. So yeah, it makes the space just for combat, nothing else. It's pure melee, very short range combat. So it forces those assassins to get up close and personal.
What happened?
Kind of be Illidan's heaven, but Valor's hell.
I think Illidan would definitely be prepared for that.
Yeah.
So
Metamorphosis right in there. Would that still work?
That's a good question.
From outside, I guess so, as it's his body. So I guess it'd be the same kind of mechanic as Zeratul Blink or Bolt of the Storm. So yeah, I'd say that one.
So as long as a skill is not a projectile, it would work.
Yeah, as long as it's not a projectile or a auto attack, it's all good. It's all good.
So what would happen if a ranged hero would walk inside? Could he auto attack inside the bubble?
Yeah, he can auto attack inside the bubble. Anything that comes in from inside in a sanctuary can attack in a sanctuary.
So you could also do a Rain of Vengeance inside.
Yeah, you can Rain of Vengeance inside, but you just can't rain from outside.
Exactly, gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. I like it. What do you say, Gilly?
Yeah, that would bring a crazy mechanic to the game too, which I always favor seeing, some stuff and how people will have to adapt to it.
Yeah.
So I think that's really neat. That's one reason that I'm really excited about Sylvanas, because the idea of, which we saw was kind of like turning the enemy mercs is like, oh, now I can't just like willy-nilly run around and take all the merc camps. So I like things that kind of make you rethink everything.
Yep.
So very cool.
Totally agree. Yeah. And now that you mentioned Sylvanas, I'm personally super excited to play her. I've saved some gold. I kind of took a skip on Thrall, funnily.
Yeah.
Even though I like the champion and I like him, I just couldn't really, bring myself to buy him. But I won't be able to pass on Sylvanas. No chance.
Yeah, no. I didn't buy Jane or I didn't buy Thrall. I'm just waiting for the right time. Or I might just blow my money on the money pig.
Oh, the money pig.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
There's
my friends are trying so hard to get me to.
Yeah. It's always happily smiling at me whenever I take a look at the shop, and it's like that permanent threat of me spending money, but...
Yeah.
I know, it's so much.
Yeah. It probably didn't help that I wasted the first 10k I got on Stitch's Master Skin.
Oh,
that
really?
Yeah.
Bad life choice. I'm not a big fan of
that was a terrible, terrible moment.
But was that your first hero you got to 10?
Yep. I was like...
I feel like yeah, you're so excited that you finally get someone to 10 that you really just cannot pass up that Master Skin. So I understand.
It was like I was just playing Stitches, and I just spammed him for about 3 days straight. And then I decided I'm going to be a support player, but I don't have any support, so all I have is Stitches. Yeah. That was an interesting moment of play.
And if you ever had the pleasure of playing together with Hoss and you saw his Stitches...
Oh, okay. Hey, no...
What? What? Bad?
Kendrick's gonna flame me, yeah.
I think there is a certain beauty in missed hooks. Let's put it this way. No, I'm just kidding,
If it makes you feel any better, my Stitches is at 8 and I miss every single hook too. That's not my forte for sure.
It's alright, I'll just stick to my targeted polymorphs and my divine hurricanes that are more or less the size of the map. I'm guaranteed to CC someone that way.
Yeah.
I agree. I really like Uther too, but especially Brightwing. I'm a big Brightwing fan. My whole stream is like fairy dragon themed. When someone follows me,
awesome.
You hear friend.
See, I played Brightwing for so long, and people were like, "Don't you get annoyed at the voice?" I was like, "No, it's awesome." No.
Yes, exactly. Everyone
it's an awesome voice. It's It's so good. How can you get annoyed at it?
I don't know. I love it.
Yeah, sweet. So, guys, I just took a look at the clock, and we are exactly at the 1 hour mark. So I'm really proud of you guys. You didn't overextend. So, yeah, I think we've had the honor and pleasure of talking about really cool concept. I like each and every single one of you guys' concept. So, yeah, the final segment of the show is traditionally going to be the, the shout-out segment.
And the good old straw poll.
And the straw poll, which I have already prepared here. So, yeah. Gilly, why don't you start off and get rid of some shout-outs and anything else you want to let people know?
All right. Well, first, thank you guys so much for having me on the show. It was a lot of fun, and I was really, really excited to stretch my creative side by getting to make up a hero. It was a lot of fun.
And once again, sorry, I messed that Tetcher thing up.
Oh no, don't worry about it at all. It's no problem. For those of you who want to follow me, I do stream heroes every single weekday on my stream. So you could either follow me on Twitch or Twitter. I also have a YouTube channel and Facebook as well. And all of that is Gillyweed SC2. So like StarCraft 2. I used to make a lot of StarCraft content, but recently just been doing hero stuff because I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and then other than that, I do also host Eye on the Storm. It's a once-a-week show. Like I talked about, we have guests on. We talk about concepts for new players and the meta, and we do a play session with the players as well. It's a lot of fun. We're going to have Arthalon on tonight. He's from Tempo Storm.
Nice. Oh my god, the Asmodean god.
Yep. He was going to cover Asmodee, but he actually decided he really wanted to cover Tyrande. So we're going to be grilling him on Tyrande information and how to be better with her, which is something I'm very interested in seeing.
And that's going to be on your stream?
That will actually be on the Misclick stream. That's the channel that hosts that show.
I'm going to add the links all into the YouTube description, by the way, guys. So just check it out and make sure to check out Gillyweed's content.
Yeah, that'll be tonight. So 7:15 p.m. Pacific time is when that show will be, but it'll also be on the Misclick's YouTube channel as well.
Cool stuff. Sweet. Hoss.
Yeah, awesome sauce. Yeah, same plugs for me. Twitter.com/Hosselot, HOSSELOTE. Same for Twitch as well. I stream EU Go 4s every now and then. What else do I do? I've got a YouTube channel, but I don't have enough of a following yet to get a personalized URL. So when I do, I'll sort that out.
Yep.
But Saturday evening, I believe I'll be casting the NA Kings of the Storm tournament with Forecourt Jester. So I'll be tweeting about that. Yeah. It's going to be awesome sauce. Slowly changing my sleep schedule to become NA because that's going to go into the early hours. But yeah, be sure to tune into that. VODs will be up on my YouTube channel as quick as possible. So yeah, thanks again for having me here, Kendrick.
Oh, you guys welcome. I'm glad you accepted, and I'm glad you made it here. So
yeah, you pulled me back somehow.
Yeah, so that's it pretty much, guys. Next week, we will be having another very special guest. I won't tell you exactly who it's going to be, but he does have some sort of function at Team Liquid, so look forward to that.
Yeah,
I'm super excited, and I also saw his concept already, or his hero concept, so he's putting in a lot of work, so it's going to be really hard for Haas and me to keep track with him, right? It's going to be really tough.
Yeah, I need to get the thinking cap on now.
Yeah, and once again, guys, there's going to be a straw poll. I'll send you guys the link in chat, and on YouTube, I'll add it or include it into the video description. So if you have a favorite, if you have a hero concept that you enjoyed most, then why don't you vote, and we're going to announce the winner next time. So yeah, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you guys for coming over, and see you guys on the next episode of the Nexus Chop Shop. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.